only time I've ever seen my mother frightened. She looked out the window, and there was my father walking over the road. There's something in my room, and I'm frightened.
Oh my god.
The horses to come.
Oh god. I filmed a bunch of like creepy videos for Halloween, and I thought, right, what can I do for my actual Halloween video? And I thought, who's good at telling ghost stories?
Oh. A lot of damn nonsense.
Not at all, not at all. My gran is pretty good, she's quite spooky.
Listen, I might put a sign up outside. Peggy's weirdo.
Weirdo lives here. Yeah, she has quite a lot of good ghost stories, and she knows I like ghost stuff, so we always end up talking about that sort of thing, don't we?
That was I mean, there was no television.
Mm-hmm. Just
And,
ghosts.
It was ghost stories
Mm-hmm.
were everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the damn thing.
There you are. This is Peggy, Granny Peggy.
Oh, God.
And you're from Donegal, aren't you?
Originally, yes, Donegal.
What age were you when you moved here?
At 14, I think.
Really?
14,
Oh, so you were really young.
15, 14, no. Oh, God. That on.
The reason that I got you in this video was because you do have some quite good creepy stories.
We haven't finished yet.
This house in itself, like, I remember my dad telling me stories about this house.
What?
He told me that there was one day he was we're just going to get right into it. So he was walking home from school one day. We should start by saying that you have 9 kids. So like my dad wasn't just an only child, he had, you know, he was one of 9, so they all lived in this house. And so how long have you had this house then? Quite a long time then.
Oh, gosh.
Was this your first house when you moved here?
No, we lived in Finnison.
Oh, I knew that. No, I knew that, yeah.
Finnison, where the police station is.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, that's closed down now.
Oh, okay.
Don't know why though.
Did you hear that?
What?
I think my grandpa's sitting in the living room. I think he was blowing his nose.
No, admit our fact. Oh, it's the poor sort.
Just as well we never got you a whiskey. So yeah, you've lived in this house a long time, but did most of the kids not share one bedroom?
Oh, yes, they did.
So 9 of them, were they all talking and tailing?
No, they were bunk beds. I got 2 sets of bunk beds, so everybody had their own bed. They wouldn't lie in somebody else.
My dad's been telling me lies. Image of like Willy Wonka, you know, in Willy Wonka they're all lying in the one bed.
No, they wouldn't lie with each other, they hated each other at the time.
And he said that for Christmas they all get cardboard boxes.
That could be right. You know, I remember Ronnie down the stair making, she made kind of toys like, and it was, I suppose there were boxes used.
My dad was saying that when he was walking home from school one day, he could see like, well, their front door, it's like stairs and there's a hedge on either side of the stairs, isn't there? And he said from between the hedge, he could see, oh he's coughing, he's got the cold. He could see this like black thing like jumping up from between the hedges and then going back down, and he was like, what the heck's that? And he got closer and he could see it again, this like black thing just going up and down in between the hedge. He was kind of like, that's strange. And then when he got there was nothing there. And then I think your mum was in the other bedroom, wasn't she? And she wasn't very well. And she stayed in the other bedroom. And then I think it was like a few days later to a week later she died.
Aye.
And that was after he'd seen this like...
Oh aye, but that's a Mulligan thing.
What does that mean?
To see, it used to be people who were able to see Auntie Annie, Charles's mother.
I see dead people.
She used to cry and tell her father, or be my grandfather, that she didn't want that to happen.
So she
and he says
knew?
You have to put up with it. He says, but I'm the one that would see the same.
So she had a sixth sense?
Maybe you're the next
one. Don't say that. So
she knew when there was something going to happen.
And he was also telling me that in the bedroom upstairs where your mum was, and she was like this wee frail elderly woman, wasn't she? And there was a big...
Michael.
Does she?
Oh aye.
My dad was the wee chubby one with the glasses.
Oh aye.
But then he was saying that there was this massive wardrobe in the bedroom where your mum was, and it was really heavy and it would take like a bunch of people to move it. And he went in the room one day, or somebody went in the room one day, and the wardrobe had moved into the middle of the room, or had moved out from the wall, and the window that was really hard to get open was like wide open, and only your mum was in that room. Did you not know that story?
I never knew that.
Well, something weird was going on up there.
I'm always afraid of noises and...
Oh, me too.
Are you? It's you know, like, if I see somebody start telling ghosts and that, I'd be afraid then to move off my chair.
I'm exactly the same. Well, I'll tell you what happened to me in my house the other night.
No.
Well, my house is like, you've not been in it yet, but it's got a good atmosphere, like it's quite relaxed.
Do you know, I feel I've been in your house. Like, maybe you just...
BRB. It feels like it's got quite a good atmosphere, like it doesn't... I've never had anything weird happen, like when I moved in it was fine, it didn't feel... I was more scared in the old house, but I don't know if I've told this in a video before, but I have this like standing fan, because it was really hot in the summer. My bedroom was really hot, so I had this standing fan on every night, like just for a couple hours, like blowing onto me as I slept, because I couldn't sleep. There's like 3 buttons and you have to press a button to stop it. I was lying in bed and I woke up and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, like the witching hour or whatever. And I went to the toilet, and then I came back and I lay down, and I hadn't fallen asleep yet, and my fan just clicked and went off, and I just lay there like terrified, because
ice cold.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, oh my god. And then I turned my light back on and I turned the fan back on because I couldn't sleep because it was so hot. But the next day I tried to like work out, because everyone was like, oh, it must have overheated. But it wasn't on that long, it was only on for about 20 minutes. Like, I'd only put it on in the middle of the night, but it hasn't overheated ever. And then also, if it were to go off, like if I switch it off at the wall, I'll put in a wee clip. If I switch it off at the wall, the button doesn't pop out, but the button went, it was as if someone had just clicked the button and like turned it off in the middle of the night. I'm going to turn it off now, if I can reach round. See, the button doesn't come out. So I got frightened my life, and then 2 nights ago, I woke up in the middle of the night because it sounded, the only way I can describe it, it was right here in front of my face, and it sounded like someone was folding up their glasses. You know that clicky noise of someone folding up? That's what it sounded like. And it was right next to my face. I woke up, and then I could put that down to maybe I was dreaming. But then, 2 minutes later, I was lying wide awake. This was at 5:30 in the morning, so it wasn't like middle of the night, it was 5:30. I was going to get up at 6, but my pillow went like this. Like as if someone was pulling the edge of my pillow. And then I was like, okay, I'm getting up. And I looked and there was nothing there. I never heard anything, seen anything, there's nothing there. And I had the light on as well, so it's not as if there was like a mouse on my pillow, like I would have seen it. Yeah.
Well, you must be ones that attracts them.
Oh god, I hope not.
But listen, see, when I think of my mother, you know, in Ireland, what do you call it? All Souls Night, you wouldn't be out, you're kind of creepy, I was saying.
Yeah, because I didn't know what All Souls Night was, and you were saying it was like to honour the dead. Ah, okay. And is it an Irish thing?
No.
Oh, so it's just an all?
No, it's just All Souls. Is it 2 or 3 days after All Saints' Day?
Ah, right, okay. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't look this up. You said that your mum used to go out in the dark and all that, and she wouldn't be. And this was in Ireland, wasn't it? She's a popular woman.
That's where we lived years ago. It wasn't a big fancy house, just an ordinary house.
Where was this?
Derrymanshire. 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 Derry and then Manshire. Derrymanshire. We used to have to write that in Gaelic. Did, aye?
So it's a creepy place.
But at the time you didn't think it. See now when I sit and think, I think of the house my mother had, and it was up on a kind of a wee hill, not a hill even, and then the next neighbour was just over the hill from us. And of course I was always, if I was out in the dark, I was always hanging on to something. Everybody was like that. It was horrible. It's our own fault. We used to talk about somebody who died, or my mother would be out, that's why she was out, to go to somebody's house, you know.
Oh, right. And that's why she was walking through the dark.
Yeah, well,
Got you.
but it was always, I mean, not to happen in the summertime, it was always nighttime.
Yeah.
But even that, creepy. But there was something about Granny's house, not Granny.
Island.
Shiny.
Oh yeah, was that the house on the island?
Aye.
Well,
your
I'll put
dad
a
loves
picture of it.
that.
I'll put a picture of it here. This is where, was it where you lived? That's where you lived.
Oh, that was only in the summer. We
Ah,
used
okay.
to kill each other nearly trying to get in. And if the boat was too full, we never got on it.
I can imagine that would be quite a creepy place.
But my mother wasn't that long in it because she went away to America.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to, as children, nearly fight with each other, make sure we got on the bus or whatever, or car.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't how the heck did we
Swim.
walk most of the time
Yeah.
to get in? Well, they all had boats or curraghs, if you know what a curragh is. And to go in, why was I telling you that?
You were telling me about when you worked in Baird Hall in
Oh,
Glasgow.
Baird Hall was
and
the creepiest things.
and that's the Beresford Hotel now, or it
It
was.
was the best. The old. See, during the war, it held an awful lot of like soldiers and that were living in there. I remember a girl one day. She says, she came to me. She says to me, "There's something in my room, and I'm frightened."
Oh my god.
And that, well, there's somebody else in that. The same place.
Oh.
See, upstairs it held the domestic stuff.
Right, aye.
You know, and the girls always were a bit creepy, you know. I don't know, we didn't see anything. But if you're up in the back again, the lane's there, and you're up maybe one stair. But see, if you're going to be left, don't dare leave me on my own here. I would at night time. Even in the daytime, it was creepy.
And you said you always felt like something.
Somebody murdered in there in
God.
Baird Hall.
And then you said you always felt like something was behind your back.
Something was behind the.
Oh, that's a horrible feeling. I hate that.
And there's, you're kind of screaming at the people to stay behind because you're frightened.
Oh, that's
You
so
know?
weird.
And
So-
even come down the stairs on your own, you know, if you were leaving from work, it was as if somebody was there all the time and behind you.
There probably was.
Rona, one of the girls, she had to go down and inspect the boilers one time. And as we went back downstairs, the basement would be. And she was down to inspect the boilers. You see the boys, the chefs, they got a hold of a few old pots and threw them down the stair.
My dad said the chef or something, they went to the toilet and the chef came back up and he said, "I hate when your finger goes through the toilet roll." The chef.
Bill, a chef.
Lovely. Hope he washed his hands.
See then, I mean, what do you call it? The women, they all wash, but some of the women I used to say, I said, "You've been in the toilet, you never wash your hands." Yeah, I hate that. Oh, I hate that. Oh, your hygiene.
I love that we went from ghosts to hygiene.
Michael used to love telling stories. But that's what I'm saying.
That's my dad, just in case MJ's, you know,
Oh
like.
God, I'm forgetting this one.
I know, I was like, you're on a roll. That was good.
I'll be getting sued next. Remember my mother, when we were in Minilink, this is where Leo's Tavern was, you know, Leo was
yeah,
it was just down the road. We loved living there.
This is an
We
island
came
again.
from Dunmanshire, which was quiet. We came up to Minilink and there's a pub on each side of the road and a pub over the road. Great for the men. And but it was a great jolly place, you know, we just loved it there. And then my father came home from work, from here somewhere, or England, and he wasn't well. But we weren't told too much, you know. And, oh God, every time he used to have these wee yellow yeast, I was in yeast tablets. And ever since he died, if I can smell them, It's true. I remember smelling in a girl's street in the big long hall. I'm coming down, I could smell the smell. But somebody else to me asked me what was the smell, and I was telling. She says, I get that too.
So you're saying that when someone's about to die, you can smell it? They do say there's a smell.
Yeah,
and there is, well, I smelled it.
Smell. I haven't had that.
Nice cheery chat for this Saturday afternoon.
I was telling you the old lady that long, she used to be near us. Oh, the poor soul. She had nothing. She was great to us, and she lived in a wee small house. I think there was only the one room in it, you know. But we used to love going in. I mean, it was, I wouldn't say, she had it tidied and all that, but she was good to us, and she used to tell us stories and all that. But she was the one was our storyteller. And she used to come from Mama. She was our babysitter.
Oh jeez, your babysitter telling ghost stories?
It was our fault. Come on, Isabel, tell us a ghost story. Isabel, we called her, because that was the Gaelic for it.
Isabel.
Isabel. And she would sit and tell us the worst thing, and then she would say, right, it's a bit late now. Your mother will soon be here, but I'm going home. And we all start crying. We start pulling their chairs near the fire, as if the fire was going to help us.
Oh, bless.
But there's a place, I've never seen it, in Dernamanshire. It's a creepy place. Even I think of it now, it's a creepy place. And there's this quarry, and our Kathleen and I were up playing, and she said to me, that woman, she's seen the woman walking along the road and went up, and Kathleen was saying, why is she going up into the bog? Why is she going, you know, where do you call it? But Kathleen says, she never came back, and there's nothing around her, nothing at all. They came back. And she says, when I came round, I couldn't see her, and I started looking for her. And she says, I couldn't see the woman anywhere.
The bog woman?
Well, it was up, but the bogs were all behind her. But Kathleen still tells you the same story. You know, see some stories we used to hear, oh God.
But Ireland's it's got a lot of like creepy folklore in Scotland as well. There's a lot of creepy Scottish folklore and creepy Scottish stories.
Thing. But my mother seen my father coming before he died. No, she seen him, what it was, she looked out the window, and there was my father walking over the road. It was a Sunday, I think. She says, where is he going? He's going for a drink, because he used to drink. Well, not that we knew, so he was a great man. And she says, I've seen him go around, so here. Then she seen him, and she said to him, where's that you we drinking? He said, I wasn't out anyway. It says he died after.
Oh, that's weird.
Aye.
So she saw him, but she didn't see him?
She seen him, in Minnelink, there's a pub there and a pub there. And she seen him walking over, oh, she says, there he goes, and he's not supposed to drink.
And it wasn't him, or it was him, but you know what I'm trying to say?
Walking away.
Oh, strange. That's creepy.
He said to me when he came home from here, I think, or England, he says, hey, look, I was only young. He says, I've come home to die. He did. That's as sure as God. And I'm saying, what's he saying that for? Because, I mean, to me, he looked well, and he couldn't have been well. He did. He did die, you know. Because I remember him talking about, there was a big I was home from school because I fell on all big stones and gravels.
Oh dear.
And my knees, couldn't heal my knee, and I was lying, sitting out in this big stone, and that's when he came and started talking.
So strange. You've got a good memory.
Remember that? I don't think I even told my mother. And then the pills I had, if there's somebody dying. I can smell the pills. It's a yeasty smell. I don't know what do you call it? Teresa says she smells it.
Oh God.
I remember Teresa's before she was really helping Teresa, you know. She was saying, Nola, she was saying that.
That's okay, there.
And she says, and I get that smell, she said to me, and I said, what kind of smell? I said, I used to smell. For years I've been trying to find out what the smell was. It's not a death smell. Horrible.
Oh jeez, lovely.
But you never think of it as bad at the time.
You're just like, what's that?
No. Oh God, is that a story?
Do you forget that you're people?
How could it be talking about my underwear?
At least you weren't talking about your underwear.
Oh God, yeah, you got me wasted.
Wasted.
Oh no, I was creepy. I was telling about my mother one time. It's the only time I've ever seen my mother frightened. I was out with her as usual, coming along. I never get home, always late.
What age were you?
Oh, I must have been 10 or 11 by then. Just keep your eyes closed, she says to me.
Oh my God.
But she got a fright over on the way home. She was so bad, my mother was never frightened. She knocked next doors, which was, we called it Connell's house. And they were all in bed, so it must have been well after 12. So she had to walk then all the way back over the other way and down. And I didn't know this, but I was wondering why she was doing these things.
And she was telling you to keep your eyes shut, but wasn't telling you why?
She said, keep your eyes shut, you know, but maybe she knew my eyes were shut or something, and maybe she was trying to, just keep your eyes shut. And,
so do you think she was seeing something?
Don't know.
Because why? Otherwise she wouldn't have said that.
She got frightened, and she says, "Oh my God, they're all in bed."
That's weird. I wonder why.
She wanted them to walk her back over the road. Well, they were men in that house.
Wonder what she saw. What she didn't want you to see.
I don't know. Your eyes closed. You know.
I hope you sleep the night. Hope you sleep the night.
I sleep every night.
Hope I sleep the night. I'm able to edit this video tonight.
But I used to hear them say, won't be long now, it won't be long now. Who's dying now?
Oh my God.
But I can't say I ever, you know. Our Kathy was a bit.
But you've never properly experienced.
No.
Apart from obviously the feeling behind you in Baird Hall.
Feeling.
But,
Oh, that was a feeling.
You get feelings, but you've never actually seen. Aye.
But you see, I wasn't the only one.
Did you ever hear noises? My grandpa just sneezed. Did you ever hear noises and then that happened?
I didn't see any. I mean, you didn't see any. It was a feeling.
Yeah, it was a feeling.
It's a horrible feeling.
But those are good wee stories.
Oh God.
That was good.
No.
That was good. You can always you can relax now. That's true. You can.
What's that?
You did it.
Oh my God.
She was terrified.
Oh no. He won't see it, will he?
But yeah, you'll see it. No, that people will see it, but they'll love it.
Oh my God.
I hope you've enjoyed this special guest. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye. Say bye.
The worst is to come.
Oh God.